Hello and welcome. Today I am talking to the one and only infamous young SHIRO, who is currently located. Where are you?
I am in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right on. And how has your day and week been so far, dude?
It's been good. I've been working and I am an essential worker, so it's been, scary, especially since Nevada's transmission rate is like the worst in the nation. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
look at the silver lining and, I'm staying busy being creative when I'm not at work.
And if you don't mind me asking, what is your job?
I work for a wireless carrier,
Hmm.
an unnamed large Fortune 500 wireless carrier. I'm in sales,
Yeah.
so I work at a store. Yeah.
Right on. I used to have a job of that kind and caliber, and I am actually really thankful that I currently do not have to have a job like that. But I do hope that you're not finding yourself in contact with too many, rambunctious knuckleheads out there.
Right.
I am going to start by first complimenting you in a lot of your sets that you've been putting out as of recent. I am not going to lie, and I also don't mean to kiss too much rear end here, but your last, what, two, three sets have been breathtaking, at least for me, in my
Oh,
opinion. And it's one
you're
of the
kind.
reasons I had a really big interest in interviewing you today. I I can't even go without saying about how much it shows the influence that you've taken from black culture and a lot of the music that has been made and thanks to their man, what can we even say, like
All of the music we love, all of
input
it.
wouldn't even
There
be
is
a
no
word
exception.
to begin
It
to
is
cover.
all influenced by Black people,
and
created by Black people.
and we've had previous conversations in private before that I hope aren't necessarily too touchy to bring up, but you've sometimes called yourself a DJ primarily to me, which I can sometimes understand that, but I am finally going to bring this up to you. Have you ever had anybody regard you as a sound system guy more?
Not really. No, I've not been called that.
All right, well, in that case, let me be the first one to go ahead and baptize you and don you as Vaporwave Sound System because,
Sound system. Okay.
well, I don't know if you are necessarily, too acquainted or familiar with the idea of what the sound system.
No, tell me more.
Well, and anybody that watches this, can go ahead and correct me in the chat if I am wrong. But primarily in Jamaica, a lot of people that loved a lot of the dub music that was coming out of reggae. And one of my big influences to get off on a little tangent, in what has contributed to my interest in vaporwave has been the work of King Tubby. His production work for dub music is amazing. The work that he did with reverb is just out of this world. I mean, he really brings the idea of space to mind when you hear reverb in music. But to go back to bring it into the idea of sound system, a lot of this music was influencing a lot of people with really outrageous, bigger than life sound systems, like bigger than this room could possibly be, and
Right.
going out there in the middle of like the day on a weekend, and they would just kind of stand at opposite ends. Like, I don't know how many yards they would be apart, but they would have a competition about who would have the better sound system.
Hmm.
But the reason that ended up becoming more of an idea rather than just being a particular thing that people did was because it created the DJ culture of the sound system. But the reason that you remind me so much of that, and I felt that maybe you may have been influenced by that, is because not only do I feel that the music that you choose is really well and thought out, but I think even how it sounds, I think, and I tend to think of myself as a sound snob, but I could listen to it on this old '80s boombox I have on headphones, or on my sound system itself, no pun intended, and it just sounds great. But it also reminds me of some of the type of, and maybe I'm just getting a little poetic here, but it reminds me of a lot of the underlining philosophies in regards to needing noise and music and dance to be a thing to free people love from the everyday struggles of whatever
Mhm.
thing any one person may be dealing with. And some of these sound system DJs I felt really kind of showcased that. And through your last three sets, I kind of had a feeling like maybe you were kind of somewhat influenced by this kind of, background history of the DJ culture.
I'm not as knowledgeable as you are, unfortunately, but that is high praise, my friend, and I appreciate that.
Oh no, no need for that. I honestly, I think it's even more beautiful and telling of a person that's able to show these accidental influences. I don't know if it necessarily says more or less in regards to the ideas of a mind hive or how much we're all really connected, but it certainly says that you have actually legitimately been influenced by, not just the culture, but also a lot of the contributions that, again, not to go and sound like a skipping record here, but the contributions of the black person in the world, because I don't necessarily see you as a person that's just been American Western centric. I feel like even the choices that you have made in some of your lo-fi or some of your future funk sets have reminded me a lot of some of the rhythmic music I've heard of, like Western Africa from the 80s, and I really do recommend you kind of getting into some of that music. I think you would really
You're
enjoy a
making
lot
me
of it.
very curious. I love going back to the roots.
Yeah. With all that being said, is there anything that you're currently working on? I do understand that you provided us with a set that we here are calling a set for solidarity, because we see you standing not just in solidarity of Black Lives Matters, but also with the ongoing, pressures of the COVID-19 pandemic that is
Hmm.
not only overtaking our country here currently, but still the rest of the world. So is there anything that, has kept you a little busy, or are you just kind of wanting to stay a little quiet and just waiting for a lot of us to figure things out when they
Oh
happen?
no, I've actually been busier this last month than I've probably ever been. Pre-pandemic, I am a co-DJ, DJ Zandow Ballet, have a vapor night here in Vegas, but it's not as successful as events like Terminally Chill or Pokari or Virtual Memory have been. So we mostly would just get up on stage and just dick around and play sets of music that we like. And um, once the pandemic happened, obviously that's not happening. And one drunken night, I lamented in the George Clinton fan club Discord about how badly I miss that core group of people that typically show up to those live shows. I'm not sure how many of them you know, but I'm sure you instantly recognize at least half of them. Um, and the chat just popped off, and eventually we started our own Discord. Uh, and the leader, a guy named Kevin, uh, allowed us to use the Discord for his project, which is called Rosewood, who a lot of people watching probably are familiar with. And so we grabbed that very core group of George Clinton fans and just people that we knew, and kind of split off and created our own group of really, really tight vaporwave homies. And we, we video chat and audio chat almost every day. It's crazy. It's been a great experience, and it's really brought us all together. And as of a couple of weeks ago, we had our first live stream event. We had a goal of $1,000 to raise for the ACLU,
Yeah, that was
which
great.
yeah, we picked the ACLU. I have to shout out DS dude, Daniel. First of all, basically, I think floated the idea, organized almost the entire thing with the help of another guy, Dan Soko, who, if you didn't see Dan Soko's set, man, you missed some seriously good
Genesis
material.
was watching, so I was tuned in. I'm
Ooh.
sure she said hi. By the way, she says hi as of right now
Oh,
too. She
hello,
forgot.
Genesis. I wanna honestly shout everybody out, and you better just stop me if I get too long winded. But
Go
Chief
ahead.
Elite, the leader of the VA Tennis Association out of Arizona, did the visuals for Dan Soko's set, and he is a phenomenal visual artist, as is DS Dude. If you've caught any of DS Dude's sets, he's blowing up, and for good reason, because Daniel is a absolute whiz on the decks, extremely intelligent, very good at visuals. He did the visuals for my set, the Dark Sense set that I did for the Rosewood event. And Daniel is just one of the most helpful, just kindest, most supportive people I think I've ever met. Incidentally, he's one of the first people I also met in LA when I went to see George in LA. Him and a guy named Peter P-Bar, some of the best people I've ever met through the George Clinton fan club. But anyways, to return to what we were discussing, we had the goal to raise $1,000 for the ACLU. We picked the ACLU because they fight for the rights of marginalized people. They're not a perfect organization, but they're constantly, you see them standing up for the little guy. And we raised $500 before the stream even started. We raised $1,000 before Kev's set was even over, the first hour-long Deep House set. We ended the night at $2,420.69 until Trent Andrew, meme fame Trent Andrew, donated $10 and fucked up our 420.69. Shout out Trent Andrew. We had a lot of big names in the chat. Christ was there, Skeleton Lipstick, Maggie.wave, George Clanton himself came through.
I did see that.
Yeah, we got shout outs by Dan Mason, Ronnie from Vaporspace St. Louis.
Shout outs to Ronnie.
Yeah. Shout out to Ronnie, one of the most beloved people in the scene, along with Dr. Chris, my personal idol and mentor. I don't know if he knows this. He had some very, very high praise and very kind words for me the other day when I expressed my writer's block that I'm currently experiencing for the DJ set we're doing for the second Rosewood event, which is to be on Saturday, July 25th. This is to benefit the Yemen crisis. A fella in our group named Feats, Xavier, is involved with Titan Radio, which is also how Kev knows Trent Andrew. That group of people are great as well, very talented. JC Aris and Trent Andrew, who were on our live stream, are both from that Titan Radio crew. And Feats, I got to give it to him for finding an organization that's very transparent, directly benefits people living in Yemen, dealing with the crisis that's going on right now. And I'm doing an all chill wave set this time. We're going to have some classics by Neon Indian, Toro y Moi, Washed Out, Small Black, and a very special personal favorite track by Skeleton Lipstick as well, because I kind of want to dedicate the entire set to him for being such a motivator and such a kind and uplifting individual. That was a long answer, but that is what I'm currently working on, aside from what I'm doing with you. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I've been booked for another event that's another collective that is also in the Philly area, and that's all I'll say about that. We don't have a specific day. I don't know specifically.
I'm sure even from the smile I'm getting, we can some of us in the chat have a good idea.
There are some great guys, and I want to name them all by name. But some great guys in Philadelphia. I kind of want to relocate out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, if there isn't anything more that you'd kind of like to plug before we kind of let you go, is there any other page on which we can find you besides your one and famous, at least to me, SoundCloud? Or
you're too kind. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on SoundCloud, I'm on Twitch, I'm on what else? Instagram. I did used to run a music curation website called Tiananmen Square Dance long ago, and so some of those pages still have the remnants of that label, that brand. But I am Young SHIRO now, and I'll plug some links probably, and you can search me, and I've got the Unicode, and I've got the I believe it's the hiragana, but if you just search Young and SHIRO, you can probably find me. As far as plugging things, no, I just want to shout out all the people in Rosewood, especially DS Dude, especially Chief Elif, CB Hayes TV, Dan Soko. I know I'm forgetting somebody important. Our intrepid founder, Keb, all wonderful, lovely people. And I want to shout out Dr. Chris, Skeleton Lipstick, and Ronnie, Alex from Pacific Plaza, just all wonderful, great people that I'm so glad that I met. And of course, George Clanton, who can forget the big guy, right? I would not
Right.
know any of you people. Well, maybe one or two of you, but very few of you people if it were not for George Clanton. He changed my life. $10 a month for my friend group subscription service. Totally worth it.
Hey, sky's the limit, not just for him, but all of us.
Absolutely.
And with that, I thank you for being my interviewee for today, and I hope to talk to you again soon. I hope you have a
Every
good one,
single time.
and thanks for being a
You
part of
too.
this again, man. Love you.
Always. Love you too, Manny.
Bye bye.